Welcome you all today, and thank very much the Honorable Jing Lei and our FICCSA Chairperson Carlota Mendoza is going to do the proper welcome to all of you, and we thank you for being here today. So, Lot Mendoza, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Carlota Mendoza, the current chair of the FSCC Filipino Settlement Coordinating Council of SA. It is an honor and great pleasure to be with this year's Filipino Communities Council of Australia FILCCA National Awardees. On behalf of the FSCC committee, we would like to thank the organizers of the FILCCA National Awards, starting with Carmen Garcia as the immediate past chair, Ben Herwinter, FSCC's immediate past chair as well, and the FSCC past chairs and advisors and our Filipino community group. Welcome. And of course, we would like to thank our Honorable Jing Lee, member of the Legislative Council and Assistant Minister to the Premier, for this invitation and being part of this awarding ceremony. May this afternoon's awarding ceremony continue to inspire us in our various field of endeavors, be it in leadership, business, career, community service, arts and culture, sports, youth, and as community organization. Congratulations to our all awardees. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay.
Thank you, Lot. Now I'd like to welcome the Honorable Jing Lee to give us her special keynote message to everyone.
Well, first of all, welcome to Parliament House. The place that we gathered today is the land on the land of the Kaurna people, and we pay respect to traditional owners, past, present, and emerging, with their cultural and spiritual connection to this land. It is really a great honour to represent not just, I suppose, Parliament, but from the Marshall Liberal government to pay tribute to some of the awardees. And can I say, as a member that was elected in 2010, I first come across the Filipino communities through many, many events I attended through Ida and through Carmen. And ever since then, I'm just feel really inspired by your energy, your passion, your commitment to serve, particularly during the crisis, whether it's a bushfire or the pandemic. You have been with each other every step of the way. Now, I haven't really looked at the record, but in terms of the South Australian Multicultural Ethnic Affairs Commission, who have been around now for nearly 40 years, I am not sure, Carmen, that whether you are actually the first person of Filipino heritage, but I can be certain you are the first female Filipino heritage person ever appointed to the South Australian Multicultural Commission. And that is a biggie. That is really quite... Because when you actually have people that of your same heritage representing the community, stepping up, serving on a government board, representing not only her community, but also the multiculturalism and channeling and promoting your culture and really, advancing the multicultural society of South Australia, it is something to be acknowledged, because without those higher level representations, sometimes you are not seen or your voices are not heard. However, through this type of engagement and through the presentation of awards, I want to later on, congratulate all the awardees. But by the same token, recognize Lot, the president, and you have your founding member as well as, a strong leader in IDA, and every one of you who are representing your organizations in the work that you do. I recall when when we promote the multicultural bill, which was like a modernization of the legislation, 40 years ago, imagine 40 years ago, in 1980, 5 years after the abolition of White Australia policy, how South Australia looked really, really different. We don't have this level of diversity. And Carmen liked to say this a lot because she kept reminding us that the Filipino population in Australia is the fifth largest, in terms of population and migrants community. That is significant. And how we harness that energy, and how we actually promote individual success, organizational success, and take it to the next level is what I cherish, and is what the Marshall Liberal government continues to want to work with you to really enrich our state. So it's a great honor. I know that because of COVID, do you know that it's 692 days since the first COVID infection arrived in Australia? 692 days. I don't know how you've been in these 692 days. I just wish that the next 692 days will be better than the last 692 days. So on this note, it's a great honor to host this particular Parliament House reception to recognize your contribution. And thank you, Ida and Carmen, for their persistency, because I understand every other states have done an online presentation, don't get a chance for a face-to-face recognition and presentation. So this is unique. This is unique, and I'm glad South Australia have the opportunity to do so, because all of you have been keeping South Australia safe, and because we are safe, we are strong, and we can go ahead and continue to enjoy the freedom that the other states or the other countries only be able to dream about. So thanks everyone. I look forward to the presentation. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Lee. Jane? Anyway, the next one, the FILCCA immediate past president, who happens to be my sister, Carmen Garcia, is going to introduce you as to how the FILCCA awardees have been selected. I'd like to call on my younger sister, Carmen.
That's all right, she's getting on. She needs to have something to hold on to. Good evening, and I also like to acknowledge that we're meeting on the traditional lands of the Kaurna people and pay my respect to elders past, present and emerging. A sincerest thanks to Minister Jing Lee, one, for putting me on the Multicultural Commission. It is a great honour, and I'm very proud to represent all of you, but also for hosting this very special event here today. A couple of weeks ago, we had the Multicultural Festival, and one of our award winners was performing, and as soon as I saw them come out in their beautiful attire, ran and left the VIP section, and just, it's so proud to see our culture showcased in such a way. But I guess, as you know, one of the biggest things for me, taking on the role as FILCCA president, of which they haven't been sworn in yet, so technically I'm still the national president, is, as amazing as our food and culture and festivals are, Filipinos bring so much more to community. Our economic contribution, our care and commitment, as the Minister mentioned, through all the drought, bushfire and COVID, the way we rallied around our international students, our overseas workers, our elderly community who are isolated, it makes me so proud to tell that story, but also about the amazing achievements that we've seen in business and the exports. I don't know if you caught on to this in the media because it hasn't hit South Australia yet, but during COVID, we actually were able to get a deal between between Robinsons and Woolworths. And Woolworths, in some of the key suburbs that have high Filipino populations, are now storing Filipino products, and also we're seeing the Australian products in the Philippines in Woolworths. So the really strong business connections that we have. There was also a local compact with the South Australian government around education, and I know that this is a real pillar for us. Many conversations, I think I even mentioned it to the Minister, the 3 universities here were keen to go to the Philippines on a trade mission and look at how we could support particularly postgraduate students. So even though we may be a smaller state, I really believe we are mighty in what the Filipino community can do, and now the additional profile and support of the Minister and being on the Commission really helps me sell that story. So it's going to be a really exciting 2022, I can tell. So one of the biggest reasons, obviously, that we have the FILCCA Awards now more than ever in COVID is because of recognising the achievements, excellence and the examples of leadership that we have in our community. I confidently say there's not many politicians left in Australia that don't know we are the 5th largest ethnic community in Australia. And even the wider community, when I tell them, they're like, really? I'm like, why do you think we're on one of the boxes on the census? Only the top 5 is in a box. Philippines is on the census. That, it really is the truth, but we're quiet achievers. And so it takes people like us and like the Minister to shine a spotlight on your achievement, because you just do it as part of who we are, as part of our culture, as part of our values. But it is extraordinary, and that's why you're so worthy of these awards. I was very proud, and I don't know if you noticed, as in the announcements of the Australian award category, South Australia was first. Not that it was in alphabetical order, but just because I was so proud, and I knew that the first photo would come up perfectly in webinars because we're not really digitally savvy. So I knew that at least the South Australian photos would look amazing, and that's why we had South Australia first. But as the Minister said, we are really special, and it's so humbling to be here in Parliament House to be able to recognise you and your achievements. We did have the federal parliament all signed up, ready to go, hosted by the President of the Senate to actually host. It would have been the first time a Filipino event was ever hosted in Canberra, but I've banked that IOU, and I will take that with me in whatever we decide to do. It's not being passed on to the next president of FILCCA. But I think, like the Minister said, other states haven't been able to do this face-to-face, but no one, even on the 75th anniversary of our Philippine-Australian diplomatic relations, the Minister and the Premier hosted us here. Again, the first opportunity to really host and celebrate just shows how important the Filipino community is to South Australia, and to show you how important this government is to the Filipino community. We're rescheduling the Barrio Fiesta that was accidentally scheduled on the 19th of March, which would be election day, right? So we realised this at the last community consultation, and we are rescheduling the Barrio Fiesta so that it doesn't conflict with the state government election, so that we can ensure that we show our support as a community, but also give the Minister a chance to come to our Barrio Fiesta when she's not going to be very, very busy. But I just really wanted to say thank you so much. I know for me and other, I don't know if I'm still young, but I like to call myself younger Filipinos, second generation, you do make us so proud, and that's why I think our community is so strong, because of your example. I'm really honoured to walk in your footsteps and carry on the legacy of Filipino leadership here in South Australia in whatever role I take on next. So maraming salamat po, and congratulations to all our winners.
Thank you, sis. I'd like to call you back here on stage with the Honourable Minister, so we can hand out the awards now. The first awardee is the overall awardee, which is the Filipino-Australian Achiever of the Year Award in South Australia, and that is Rose Howland. Although I won't tell you the age of Rose, she has been here in South Australia longer than me, Rose, or a little bit shorter? 85. Okay. So I was here earlier than Rose. But Rose is a well-known figure here in South Australia. She has been on radio and everything. She's been a community leader. In fact, she was one of the mentor and officer of now defunct Filipina SA. Anyway, so Rose, could I invite you to say a few words? Oh.
Thank you very much. I started before in 1988 as a volunteer for what we call it, Port Clinton Theatrical Society. And then we gave a 3-course meal for all the legacies women in the CWA, Country Women's Association, and the residents of nursing homes. So really, that was a long time ago, but there was never anyone who did that before, and I was the only one of Asian descent who was involved in that organization, which we call Port Clinton Theatrical Society. And then after that, when you mentioned, Carmen, about education, and we had the basic education assistance for Mindanao, which we loaded with computers, a 40-foot van. We loaded with computers and books, and we sent it to the Philippines and Davao. And also another one, at the moment, we have the Australian Further Education Foundation Further Education for the Philippines, AFLIP. And so I would like to say thank you to Australia, to Ching Lee, for this occasion, and I'm saddened and I'm sad, in fact, because not all of us can be awardees. And I know I've stepped on some toes. And I know that there are people who believe that they are better than I am. So I am giving this award to you as well, on your behalf, and to Annie Baker, who is struggling in the hospital at the moment. So I give this award to all the other awardees who are not here at the moment, and say thank you to you all, and especially to the committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rose. Now the next awardee, we have 2 awardees. This is the first time that FILCCA decided to have 2 awardees for leadership. And so we have 2 leadership awardees from South Australia for 2021, and they are both very promising leaders. They have done a lot of things together in the past, and they are actually the highlight of the Filipino community, because without them, they wouldn't be carrying on the heritage of our Filipino dancing. Okay, so the first awardee is Lucita Montediorisio, and Lucita is the founder of the Sampaguita Dance Group, and which is now the Sampaguita Filipino-Australian Foundation. So, and Lucita has always volunteered doing some dancing and even singing in nursing homes. And she has continued to do that, and she's definitely going to heaven. She's very religious.
She's an angel.
Yes, she's an angel. So, Lucita, can you say a few words, please?
Thank you, Lord, for the blessing on me.
Don't you?
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, Jingli and Ida and Carmen, for your effort, time and efforts, to be here, to let us use this place, and to give us the opportunity and honor to receive our award in person. And thanks to FILCCA for giving us this award. I really appreciate it. And I give thanks to FICCC committee for choosing me to recognize my hard work for 34 years of service, volunteering in the community. And I thank God also for giving me the talents to share to all of you. He provided everything I have to use it for His glory and honor. God bless all of us, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Lucita. I told you she's very religious.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I know. That's why her prayers is going to help all of us go to heaven. Don't forget me. Anyway, the next leadership awardee is Rosaida. Rosaida is also a true volunteer for the Samahan group. And like Lucita, they have been performing for all the Filipino-Australian activities and performances and all that. Most of them are volunteers as well. And she's got a very large group also that performs to different organizations all around Australia, because they have dance in also in other states when we had the FILCCA National Conference. Rosaida, please. I'd like you to say a few words. You can make it long if you like, because you can talk.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Honorable, for making this event successful. Thank you, Carmen Garcia, our FILCCA president. She's still president. And thank you, Ida Garcia, for giving this opportunity. And thank you, all of you here. I would like to thank this opportunity that without my knowledge, I wasn't thinking that I'd be receiving this award. And I'm just giving this to all of you on behalf of the Filipino community, that this award is not for me, it's for all of us. So I'm so grateful and honored to receive this award, and thank you, FILCCA. And thank you, FICC committee and advisor. Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Rosaida. Now, I wouldn't say that we just heard from our senior citizens. Now, I'd like to call on our youth. And she's going to be, remember the name, she's going to be our future Olympian. And she's a great swimmer. She's received a lot of medals, awards, and everything else that you can think of. And because she's a swimmer, she's got a beautiful body too. Okay? Now I'd like to call on Chanel Hansel.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to say that it's a huge honour to be able to represent the South Australian and Filipino community, and I want to say a big thanks to everyone who has been supporting me throughout my whole journey, and a special thanks to my mother, father and sister for supporting me throughout my whole life and my whole swimming career. I wouldn't be here without you. And I want to say a big thanks to you guys and for taking your time to be here to present this. Thank you.
Thank you, Chanel. And the Samahan Dance Group is the Outstanding Community Organization of South Australia, awarded by FILCCA. So I'd like to introduce also Flory, because Flory is the choreographer and everything, advisor and whatever. So I'd like to, Flory, can you please stand up?
Can you hold the mic and then take a photo before they do it?
Yeah. So I'd like to call on Rosaida and your team, please, to have a picture and receive the award. So Maura, Jocelyn, Corey, Flory, you join them. Flory, please.
Carmen suggested that the presentation of the award first so that you're not sweaty after your dance. So, everyone.
So congratulations, Samahan again. So I'd like to present them now to perform, to do their dance. Thank you very much, Rosida, Cory, Maura, and Jocelyn. In closing, I'd like to invite the Honorable Jing Lee again to say a few words.
Well, what an inspiring afternoon we just had, and thank you so much for turning up, and for those who are performing, and for those who are wearing your traditional costume, you look glamorous. On behalf of the Government of South Australia and the Premier of South Australia, once again I want to thank every single one of you, particularly those community leaders who have gone well beyond your duties to care for the community compassionately, to make contribution, like Carmen said, in every aspect of our society, in every profession in our society. You are certainly the bright stars. I've got a Christmas stars here too. To cherish how I see all of you as superstars. And Carmen might say that you are quiet achievers. Yes, you are. But in many ways, you are also the most vibrant and most visible achievers. Because when there is a major festival in Adelaide, some of you will be on that stage. And some of you, like the Samahan group, after celebrating 10 years anniversary, you are continuously entertain us, inspire us, showcase your talents as well as your traditions. So congratulations, everybody. Thank you, FILCCA. Thank you, Filipino Settlement Council of South Australia. Filipino Settlement Coordinating Council of South Australia. And the Filipinos Communities Council of South Australia. Thank you all. I am really honored to host this reception. It was difficult to achieve because this particular old chamber gets booked out very often, but we made it. We all did, because maybe Lucinda, your prayers has been very powerful. Thanks, everybody.
Chairperson Lot Mendoza, Deputy Chair Rosida, the Secretary Carmi couldn't make it here, and Joy Goodrich, Assistant Secretary, June Cordero, Treasurer, Assistant Treasurer Jerry Mendoza. Jerry, stay here for a while, Jerry, let them take a picture. And then Luz Pori Shield, Auditor, Leah is the PRO, and the business manager is John. Sorry, John. So picture taking, and then after that, I'll invite the advisors to join as well. Or maybe I could join already the advisor. Joe, can you join them already, Joe? And I'll stay on the other side.